Good morning. The purpose of today's video is to give a basic explanation of School Finance 101 to all of our viewers. We have given this video to our staff here at school. Cooks, custodians, bus drivers, secretaries, teachers, and paraeducators have all had a chance to learn more about school finance here at Osage as it pertains to our school district. So we're going to talk about some different buckets and some different, as you want to call them, silos or buckets. We use the buckets. And today's first bucket that we're going to talk about is the general fund. Every one of our funds is a different fund and they cannot intermix with each other. It's important to know that each fund has different revenue sources. So we can put money into each one of our buckets. And so the first way that we can do is with our general fund, we can put money in through three different sources. The first revenue for a general fund comes from property tax. That is the number one source and the main source for the general fund. Also, state aid is a big portion of that. State aid is the funding formula that the legislature is discussing right now. So that state aid is very important to the Osage School District. The third source that goes into this general fund bucket would be from miscellaneous income. Sometimes the district has grant, we take donations, special things that come in, and so those are categorized as miscellaneous donation. So the main things are property tax, state aid, and miscellaneous income. Now you might ask what comes out of this bucket. Several things come out of this bucket, but the number one factor is salaries and benefits. And about 80% of our salaries and benefits come out of this bucket. Also, we have things like our transportation. Osage has a district of about 175 square miles. Transportation costs come out of this bucket as well. Also, we take out supplies. Now, most people would think that would be a large portion of your budget, but in comparison to our salaries and benefits, supplies, textbooks, papers, pencils, markers, all of those things are a smaller part of our bucket, but they come out of the general fund. The general fund is its own bucket, and we must protect and we look at what we're spending out here because so much of it comes from our salaries. That's where our expenses are. The second fund we're going to talk about today is the management fund. The management fund gets its revenue source through property tax. Property tax is its sole income source. So we put property tax into the management bucket. What can come out? Things like our liability insurance, if we have any unemployment. This year we have something at Osage called breakdown insurance. Anything that plugs into a wall and if it breaks down may be repaired, and that can come out of the management fund versus our general fund. So that's a real benefit to us. Early retirement benefits may also come out of the management fund. And so those are some of the key things that come out of that bucket. The next bucket is our capital fund. The revenue sources for the capital fund include the save or sales tax fund. Anytime that you buy an item, a penny of that comes back into our bucket here in the capital fund. So we're very fortunate that that is a statewide. It's not just if you shop here in Mitchell County. It's anytime you shop in the state, a portion of that comes back to us in that capital fund. What would come out of the capital fund, you might ask? Well, we can spend things like any capital or building projects. So money can be saved toward this, and we can spend money for any building project. We can also take software and computers out of our capital fund. And as a one-to-one district here in Osage, that's been a place that we've been able to tap in to pay for that. Our next bucket is the Peple Account, as we like to call it, which stands for Physical Plant and Equipment Levy. The revenue from that goes into our bucket with property tax and something here in Osage called an income surtax. An income surtax is based off of the income tax that you pay, so it's actually a tax on the tax. It is paid by all people that live in the Osage district, not just your property owners. So again, we have two ways for our Peple, and again, that's property tax and income surtax going into the bucket. What comes out of this bucket? As you hear Peple used a lot. Anytime that you're remodeling things, that can come out. We can also take any transportation, bus, vehicles, cars. Improvements to our building and grounds may come out of this bucket. Any equipment that's valued at greater than $500 may come out of the Peple account. Just basic repairs and any construction may come out. Our next bucket that we'll talk about today is our food service bucket. This is a standalone bucket, and this is the only set of employees that do not get paid out of the general fund bucket. So food service is its own standalone. How does the money go into this bucket? The money goes in through our federal meal and state meal reimbursement. It also comes in when parents buy lunch tickets and buy your lunch for your students. So that's how the money goes in. What comes out? As we said, every employee, any equipment, any supplies, any repairs, anything that deals with food service, we take out of this account. They have to be a standalone and must be able to float on its own. And the last bucket that we have is called our Student Activity Fund. The Student Activity Fund gets its revenue through admissions that you pay when you come to our events, any student fundraising that occurs, and any fees that we might charge our students. So that goes into our account. What comes back out? It must support all of our extracurriculars, any referees, entry fees, anything that we do for sports, band, choir, or extracurriculars, speech, things like that are all part of our student activity account. We want to thank you for taking the time to watch this informational video. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about school finance and how intricate and how it is different than your home checking account and your home banking account. We do want to thank you, and if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to call me, email me, or set up an appointment and we can speak further about this. Have a great day. Go Big Green.